Ah, jeepers, you scared me. I was almost done reading this spooky, scary book, but I guess I can discuss the first 10 chapters of this video game adaptation. I have to warn you though, it's a pretty fat and fetid tale. But if you think you can handle it, please enjoy our episode on Resident Evil: The Umbrella Conspiracy by S.D. Perry.
Welcome back, all my humble homies and beefed readers. We're back to Perusing Stinky Tombs, and today we've got, a stinky one for you.
Can I be honest? Maybe not showing my hands early, but I kind of think that it's stinky in the camembert way, where you kind of want to bite into that creamy deliciousness. It's gummy in your teeth.
I have some issues, but I agree that I
kind of love it. I kind of love it.
Resident Evil: The Umbrella Conspiracy, written by my nemesis, S.D. Perry.
My nemesis.
I say my nemesis because S.D. Perry wrote Alien Labyrinth, and I fucking hate that book. It's an adaptation of a Dark Horse comic. A lot of the Alien books are Dark Horse comic adaptations. However, I didn't want to do the Alien books because I wanted to make sure that we wrangled fucking Mandy and locked him down for one of these for Aliens.
We need to fucking dominatrix.
We need to put him in a cupboard, string him up, and then force him to read slop with us if we do Alien.
Like the little Indian so that he can come to life.
Okay, that's fucked up. Indian in the cupboard is already fucked up, and the fact that you're bringing it up right away in that context.
What?
Holy shit. Can you check your fucking genealogy and see if you're related to General Custer?
General Custer. Can we not fucking talk about that? Whenever I think of that guy, I think about the video game.
I think about before we get started, I did read I read Resident Evil, but I've been reading a lot. I read Fubar, which is a collection of military horror stories, and there's like two good ones in there.
That's kind of fun. Is it like proper horror? Or is it like
some of it is proper horror? So it's supposed to just be like horror through the lens of like the military. However,
okay. I don't hate that. That's a cool idea.
The thing is like it's so structured weird. Like I like one where a spec ops guy is in a forest, but there's also a fucking predator spider alien in the forest. They look at each other and nod, and then both go and kill Colombian people together. But like they also have a short story where, dude, what if Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't like the United States committing horrible fucking war crimes? What if it was the United States committing horrible? What if they were giant Cthulhu monsters?
The processing time between what you just said and my brain realizing
your brain figuring it out. Yeah.
Shit, man. Wow, that's awful.
But I thought it'd be fun for perusing if we talked a little bit at the front just about what we've been reading lately.
Oh, what I've been reading. Do visual novels count? I guess it is reading.
No.
I've been reading Paranormal Sight, The Mermaid's Curse, and it's very good. It's very, very good.
Is that a visual novel? That's fine. Yeah, they do count. I'm just fucking with you. Audiobooks don't count, but
fuck audiobooks.
I'm not an audiobook hater, but I do think that using an audiobook like a podcast is totally fine. I just would hope that it's like, please, imbibe the information.
Usually I do both. I read and I with the thing. I don't know.
Audiobooks.
I like being read. I like being read at. I'm like a little baby boy trying to. I'm in my crib. I'm going goo goo gaga. I'm shaking my rattle, and I need to be told my little stories.
Oh, I also read a bunch of fantasy slop by Rachel Aaron. All of the covers look like porno covers or like softcore porn, but they're not, and there's no fucking. But so I gotta read these titles to you because I did want to talk about this. So these are not porn. They are urban fantasy. They are cool dragon shit. Some of the storytelling is a little but it's very. What if there were fucking cool spirits? What if there were fucking cool dragons?
Nice.
But the titles are Nice Dragons Finish Last.
Fuck off! No,
One Good Dragon Deserves Another.
Oh god, me going on Fur Affinity, finding the worst porn you've ever fucking seen.
I'm not even
Holy
done. No
shit.
good dragon goes unpunished. And a dragon of a different color.
Oh, whoa, hey.
They're not good titles, but the books have been they're fun. I like to read fun books.
Wait, I do actually, I was reading an essay, rereading it. This is an old essay from I don't fucking remember, 90s something. Men, Women, and Chainsaws, Gender in the Modern Horror Film. I was rereading it because I really like that book. It's very interesting. It looks at final girls and how they got established as an archetype and what that meant for gender.
Oh, I was reading a little bit of a gender book.
I love Gender. Unless you don't like Gender, in which case I think you're valid for not liking Gender.
I was reading Birds of America by Lori Moore, which is a collection of like short stories that are kind of like very, very woman-focused, like lady-focused short stories, and that's been kind of fun. But I'm on the hiatus on that one because it's a not a long read, but it's a serious read, and I have to take my time with those.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
When it's a heavy book, it's kind of harder.
I know. I'm getting a heavy book today. My book, Alien Pregnant by Elvis, is coming out soon.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm not fucking with you. This book, I bought it pre-owned. It was published in '98. I'm so fucking excited to get my copy of this because I accidentally found it.
Let me look at that cover. Oh my God, that looks like Bat Boy.
So it is supposed to be 36 tabloid tales all put together in a compilation for me.
Oh, that's really cool then. That's why it literally looks like Bat Boy.
Because it's Alien Pregnant by Elvis.
Oh, did you see? They're making a fucking, like a really nice collector's Figma of Bat Boy.
Fuck yes. Where's my Mothman with a fat ass?
Insane. It looks insane.
Speaking of Mothman with a fat ass, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to brass tacks. Resident Evil, The Umbrella Conspiracy. Now, S.D. Perry, we've talked about them a little bit. Let's talk about the author.
Yeah.
They are a licensed book Nepo baby.
Like straight up Nepo baby, which is the funniest thing ever.
Being a Nepo baby isn't a terrible thing. You just have a leg up on it.
It's not.
It's just their dad also wrote a bunch of licensed books as well. Like their dad wrote
There's a lot of Star Trek stuff from what I remember.
So it was the Men in Black novelization and the Titan AE novelization and the fucking Jim Carrey's The Mask novelization is what their dad wrote.
Why?
Their dad.
I kind of find SD Perry's stuff a bit more interesting than whatever. Like I don't want to read fucking The Mask. Not gonna lie.
I do. Aside from like me absolutely despising Labyrinth, I will say that Umbrella Conspiracy is 2 years after Labyrinth, published wise.
This is 90.
This is 98. 98. The Umbrella Conspiracy and Caliban Cove are 98, and Labyrinth was 96.
Wait, actually, I'm curious. What version do you have of the book? Because I have the re-release, the new edition from 2012.
I have a blue cover.
The blue cover, so that means you have the old version. I have the one from 2012.
It's a new print of it though. Is the fucked up thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the printing date. It is a fresh fucking brand new copy that was probably kept in a warehouse. It was fucking printed in 98. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You have the old version. My cover is just like it's just the fucking GameCube. Like it's just GameCube renders from Resident Evil remaster.
Yeah, mine was printed February 12th, 2026. So
what?
Yeah, mine is a fresh print of the old one.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Why?
Yeah, made in the US in Illinois.
Mine is very, very used. In fact, I will mention some parts, at least one major part that I think is very funny from the previous owner.
Yeah, so we read up to chapter 10.
Yeah, so we read from 1 to 10. This is which includes the prologue. And let us start with, like all great books, let us start at the very beginning with a quote from Aristophanes. Evil events from evil causes spring. So I don't know about you, but I had to fucking look that quote up because I thought bro made it the fuck up. Aristophanes. Yeah, so he's a real guy. I don't know how this fucking quote applies to the rest of the book, quite frankly. I did read, like, go on Reddit type, what does this mean type shit, just because I could not find a reason.
I don't understand philosophy.
I understand philosophy. I just don't understand how it pertains to this fucking slop book.
Listen, can I be 100% honest with you? Every single time I see a quote at the beginning of a book, I say, buddy, this isn't a Call of Duty campaign, and I skip it.
No, the fuck it ain't.
There should be a book that opens with press X to
press X to start.
Press L3 to throw your grenade. The prologue, I don't really have a lot to say about the prologue. It's just generic, like, bizarre murders. Like, it's just a setup. Like, oh, there's murders. People are dying in Raccoon City.
Yeah, I do think it's because I've been comparing it. How much have you played the Resident Evil I'm sure you played pretty much all of them, right?
So I've played RE1, the remake, but I never played the original run of RE1.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was because I played both, and I was kind of I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, so I was just kind of a lot of comparisons between this book and specifically the original, because this was made during the original, and like. I mean,
well, it is like Umbrella Conspiracy is literally just a novelization of Resident Evil 1. Like, that's really what it is. It's not an original
it
model.
Adds a bit more sauce. I think it adds a bit more sauce. Specifically, this prologue I think is pretty good, where it goes through like the events happening around the city, not just in the Spencer mansion. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that it goes into like reasonings why these guys would be there, because in the original, there's not really anything about the outside world. They crash land, you get your little FMV, you're in the mansion, and it's corny as hell, and that's pretty much it. And I love it, but I kind of I like the little parts where you see everything happening before you get into the mansion, specifically the prologue where it talks about man-eating freaks.
It's a smiley and a frown from me is what I'm going to say is the best way to say it. Because I always think that contextually... So this is something they do I watched all of to prep for this as well. Instead of playing through RE1 and RE1 Remake again, I thought it'd be funnier if I just went and watched all of the RE CGI movies.
That's why you were watching those. Oh my God.
And like...
that explains it. I was like, why is bro so interested in the CG movies all of a sudden? I love them, by the way. They're corny as fuck.
They're corny as fuck, but like it's a problem that I think even in normal Resident Evil,
women.
Contextually, why I love 7 and 8 versus the rest of them...
No.
Is because I think this is where we differ, because I love how corny they are. I do. But I do always have a problem with how fucking stupid they are.
I'd argue 8 is like the stupiders of them.
But 8 is all contained. Like 8 makes sense to me because everything is contained well. Everything is in the soup bowl. Nothing is spilling out. Do you know what I mean? Like all of the liquid of the narrative is contained within the area and location of 7 and 8. Whereas in all the other REs, it just feels weird.
Yeah, you don't need to play like 1 million games to get the full lore.
And more, the narrative is contained in a way that makes sense to me. And this is one of my CinemaSins dings where you have to fucking like, sometimes I have a hard time suspending my disbelief in, okay, the whole fucking world, Umbrella is a worldwide company, and people are fucking dying in this fucking city due to horrible fucking cannibals, but like nobody's finding fucking anything.
Okay, well, to be fair, they never talk about it being cannibals. They just find mutilated corpses and they don't know where it's from.
Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but literally the first paragraph says the 4th victim of the supposed cannibal killers.
Yeah, but that's not like I can. If we put ourselves...
Evidence of being eaten near Victory Lake District. Mitaki's corpse showed evidence of having been partially eaten. The bite patterns apparently formed by human jaws.
I think there's nothing tying to Umbrella yet. You're like going way past this.
No, I'm just
the police are still investigating. This is 80. What is the timing on the? It's like 98. Yeah.
Well, yeah. The first article is June 2nd, and then. What's the last article? July 21st, where they're finally like a month later, they're like, okay, so we're going to send people out to, I don't know, somewhere to figure out where the fucking cannibals are coming from.
I disagree on a lot of things you just said, just because there's also a lot of like, it's a conspiracy,
well, that's why
Brendan.
I said this is my CinemaSins ding. This is more a peeve. This is more a peeve than a criticism.
Public. It's like X-Files.
Plus, like the... One thing that I will say about this prologue that I feel like isn't necessarily represented in the book is the Albert Wesker promoted to position less than 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It feels like Wesker just got the job like a day ago. Like what has he been doing for 6 months? Just like thumb up the butt? Like is he British in the first game? I can't remember.
I think everybody's American.
When is he British? Doesn't he get British at some point?
I don't think he gets British at any point.
Does he get British in the movies? Am I thinking of the movies?
Does he get British in the movies? I don't think
maybe he gets British in the movie.
I mean, it depends. Oh, this is getting into like I could explain why it might, but this is going into spoilers that are like beyond this.
Okay, so chapter 1, right off the rip, we're with Jill.
She drops her fucking keys into her cup of coffee because she's a quirky little lady and she can't stop dropping shit everywhere.
I love the line written that she dumped the mug and scooped up the warm, wet keys.
There are.
This is such like overall. I wanted to say this to you. This book is Ushi Gushi.
It's Ushi Gushi as fuck. You're so right.
I have the thesaurus out for Mushi, Ushi, Gushi, and Gooey, and I'm looking at every fetid, murky, ucky, bucky word. Like
You're so fucking true, dude. I love this first prologue. I love that she was good at her job, but I'd only taken it because of Dick.
I think we actually picked this book because we were going through video game books and we saw the first chapter on page 7 for me, where it just, for the first time since Dick had gone inside, she'd felt truly alone, is a sentence that is real in this book. But because contextually in the book they invented a dad for her, Dick Valentine.
They did invent a dad, Dick Valentine. It made Dick happy and gave her the opportunity to see how the other half lived.
Where is our Dick Valentine? Where's our Dick Valentine? Dude, and finding out that Dick Valentine was a fucking phantom thief.
I know, dude.
And that's why she has lock picking.
That is, I cannot think of a funnier fucking thing. It is actually, it's peak, Brendan. I kind of love it. I love that his name is Dick and he's a joyous boy phantom thief.
Jill is always thinking about her fucking dick. Dick should. She is always thinking about Dick. What would Dick say? What would Dick do in this moment? So Jill is getting the Akira flashbacks, thinking about her dad. She's late for work, and she's thinking about 2 of the little girls who died in the cannibal attacks. Becky and little Pris in her overalls, both of them sniffling and shy because they were her neighbors, I guess.
When I read sniffling in my head, I was like, oh, these kids are just walking around with like Minecraft pig noises. What
I love about this chapter is how embarrassing it is for Jill to walk by her neighbor's house where she hurried to the small dented gray hatchback parked by the front walk, forcing herself not to look at the silent McGee house as she started the car and pulled away from the curb. She's like trying to avoid the empty neighbor's house where his 2 kids died. She's like, oh, geez. She's like pulling at her shirt like, oh, God, I'm so fucking embarrassed. Your kids died.
Why did they do that? I really like that because this book switches between characters a lot, which I like. I do think it's a really good idea considering how the video game is structured between like you have 2 characters you can pick between Jill or Chris.
You're doing limited third person and you're doing POV swaps.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot. And I was clapping for this description of what Chris looks like. Please let me read this. Long hair, studded jean jacket, a tattoo of a skull, smoking a cigarette on his left shoulder. What?
That's not a detail of Chris. That's not a detail of Chris. That's a detail of Forrest Speyer. You're reading it wrong.
Forrest Speyer?
Dude, Forrest Speyer. I wrote fucking... Chris turned away from the soda machine and saw Forrest Speyer striding down the empty hall towards him, a wide grin on his tanned, boyish face. Forrest was actually a few years older than Chris, but looked like a rebellious teenager. Long hyphen.
I misread it.
Yeah, you misread. Fool, you're misreading. No. We're already fools.
It. I'm already... Dude, I thought it was the funniest thing ever,
No, I love Forrest Speyer because Forrest Speyer... Forrest Speyer is written in some of the funniest way because, yeah, it's the long hair, studded jean jacket, a tattoo of a skull, smoking a cigarette on his left shoulder. And I love the sentence after, which is, he was also an excellent mechanic and one of the best shots Chris had ever seen in action. He's a Hugo Speed character.
Between him and Barry, Barry is a bit Hugo-fied. He's a bit speedified, but he loves his children.
I think all of the fucking side characters in chapter 1 especially are Hugo Speed-like, and it's so fucking funny. Also, I did make sure to make note that Chris scooped up a can of club soda from the machine's dispenser. Who the fuck is getting a club soda out of a vending machine? What the fuck? Who the fuck is drinking that?
I've never seen a club soda in a vending machine to begin with, dude. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, what? Maybe a cream soda.
I'm just like, who the fuck is drinking cream soda except for like...
The stars, man. They're all on it.
And maybe people with like, I don't know, GERD or like tummy issues who are drinking like a ginger ale or like... Do we know if SD Perry has GERD or does Chris have GERD? What's the...
Can we go with
tummy
Chris
troubles?
has GERD?
Chris has GERD.
Chris has tummy... Yeah, he has tummy troubles like that one guy from Metal Gear Solid.
Leon, I need a ginger ale. Fuck my sister, Leon. Give me a ginger ale.
Every time it switches POV to Jill, Chris is shitting himself crazy style.
Every POV swap should be fucking lined with a fart. This is true.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, and also more details about Forrest Sprayer. Wesker gave Marini the go-ahead to start the search. Bravo team's going in. Even excited, Forrest's Alabama twang slowed his words to a stereotypical drawl.
Yeah.
And then Forrest says our favorite fucking word that throughout almost the rest of the book, this is maybe one of my favorite parts. They never fucking say helicopter, Billy.
They don't. They never say helicopter. They will, dude. Broke up the fucking thesaurus. Refuses.
Now, as soon as I warm up the copter, they only ever say copter.
Copter, chopper.
I remember
chopper,
copter. I think they say helicopter once. I actually marked every time they say copter, so I'm going to be thinking about it.
You marked it?
Yeah, let's see. I wrote a note in my book, highlight all phallic text like Freud.
Man, you highlighted a lot of shit.
I also wrote a note here that I don't understand. Actually, I do understand now. I wrote club soda pussy. I can't wait to donate this to the Goodwill so that people get really confused about this.
Dude, that's going to be awesome. The Goodwill is going to love this. It is a brand spanking new copy. They'll never expect somebody to annotate. Dude, imagine getting a copy of Resident Evil, the Umbrella Conspiracy, and it's annotated by a fucking
so that
psychopath.
Slobbering nut is highlighted.
To be fair, very funny. They're just talking about this mission and how they're going on.
Yeah, it's while you alphas are sit taking notes, we're going to go kick some cannibal ass because they're sending in Bravo team first.
Yeah.
There's a line about them, the case should be brought up to A1 status. And I was like, is it because it's a cannibal thing? Like they're eating people, but they're using A1 steak sauce? Like what's the directive for A1 status?
This is also when we meet with Chief Iron, who has a big greasy voice and he's kind of a slimy guy and he's shitting himself.
Yeah, he's Chief Irons among them. Just call me Brian's Iron. Hey, Peter, just call me Brian Irons. I did make sure to note during the Chief Brian's introduction, because we're getting to the part where he poops his pants.
Yes.
It was no secret that he had his sweaty fingers in more than a few local pies. He'd even been implicated in the Cider District land scam back in '94. There are a couple of things in this book where it's like, tell me more about the Cider District land scam. That's what I want to know.
We'll just mention the most insane fucking thing ever and just pass through it. It's like,
they'll skip through it with a quick sentence, and I'm like, tell me about that. I want the next Resident Evil 10.
Skip this. I
need to know about the Cider District land scam, and I need to be it about like a 94 villain trying to pave paradise to put up a parking lot, but he turns into a fucking giant creature with an orange glowing weak spot. So we get some Chief Iron stuff. He's described as greasy, disgusting, and pudgy.
Yep.
Also piggy, pudgy, greasy.
He's just all those. He's
the fat grease cop, yeah. So we get the line. Barry started in. Think the chief took a shit today? Maybe we all ought to chip in for Christmas. Get him some laxatives. Barry's really worried about his colon health.
Barry is my favorite character in this book by so far. I think somebody was in love with him while writing him. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no! My other favorite thing about Barry that I have to mention is I didn't mark this here, but I marked it later. Is Barry is always described as giant, massive, bulbous, huge. Barry.
Yeah, he's a lumpy boy. Well, he's just made of lumps.
Here's the description. Barry walked toward them, scruffing at his short reddish beard with one giant fist. Giant fist is used in almost every Barry POV.
It's insane. It's insane. I don't get it too because
Barry Burton was only 6 feet tall, but built like a truck. His only passion outside of his family and his weapons collection was weightlifting, and it showed.
Dude, no, it doesn't. I've seen what he looks like.
He's 6 foot tall and made of straight ass, brother. He's the tallest man alive, Billy.
It's so funny. Dude, she was in love with him. The way she writes him like a sex god.
Oh, no, we get right to the Barry POV after the Chris POV, too. Yeah, it's the... Man, it was hot. Seemingly endless trickles of sweat rolled down his spine, gluing his t-shirt to his broad back. Oh, yeah.
Fucking Cruz.
That was my first author thinks that Barry is hot. Oh, yeah. And this is also where we get some of the, I want to say the weird hyphenated words where, do you know Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a Doom movie where he like says two people's names, but it sounds like one name?
Yeah.
Or it'd be like, Billy Brendan. We get the Barry scowled good-naturedly. Old Barry could easily kick your ass into next week, little man. Joseph looked at him mock seriously.
Yeah, there's a few times where she does that, and I don't know if I like it. It's kind of weird. It reads weird, at least.
You could just say, like, Barry scowled, and like the context from the text is what you're supposed to intone the tone from. Like, is it adverb or adjective? I think it's adjective. 1 second, I'm too stupid and I forget. I get these mixed up because this is one of my dumb moments where like I wasn't raised right. adjectives modifier. So it's a modifier, yeah. So it's these adjectives are a little, they're a bit chunky on the adjectives is what I would say. So Barry's POV is mostly Barry fondly looking at a picture of his fucking wife and his girls. Barry's POVs are almost always, I love my wife, I love my family, and I love my fucking guns.
Ooh, I love my wife.
I love Barry thinking about Chris. He's Chris's recruiter, where he recruited Chris at a fucking gun shop.
I know, dude.
And I'm just thinking about Barry the cop walking in and being like, "You like that weapon, huh? Would you like to maybe come back to my house? I'll show you all of my weapons. Would you like to join Stars, Chris Redfield?"
This is what America should be, actually.
Dudes at gun shops. It is a nation of cops.
I do think too that they mentioned that it's Kendo's gun shop from fucking Resident Evil 2, which I think is very cute. Very good references.
Oh no, they don't mention that it's Kendo's gun shop.
Do they not?
They just say a chance encounter at a local gun shop, bud.
Damn, my brain went for it.
You're making the book better than you thought in your brain. Chapter 2.
No.
So we're about to start the mission, and they're talking about the Spencer place.
Yeah, it's very boring. This chapter is boring. Sorry.
Well, I think I wrote about this chapter. Is Chris going to be whining the whole time because they're talking about like doing a flyby, and Chris is like, "But what about the Spencer place? It's in the middle of the crime scenes. If we start there, we can conduct a more complete search." But
to be fair, he's kind of true. He's kind of true for that.
Well, yeah, he's true for that, but Wesker's fucked up and evil, and of course Wesker's like, "No, we can't do that."
Oh, Brendan, spoiler.
Well, yeah, but you know Resident Evil 1, you know fucking Albert Wesker. And Chris is like, "We only have umbrellas. We only have umbrellas. Word that the fuck is. We only have umbrellas. The only one who told us that the Spencer estate is safe. What the hell?"
But you know what Albert Wesker's famous motto is? Expect nothing.
We get a lot of little exposition. We get Chris whining. We get a little bit of Jill.
Yeah.
And then we're getting into the helicopter crash. The Bravos crash first, actually. Second time we use copter. Third time we use copter because they're talking about warming up the chopper, getting ready, get the duffel bags, get the stuff.
Yeah, they're getting ready to prep up and go. Wesker grins suddenly, wondering what Brian Irons was doing right now. Shitting his pants, no doubt. Wesker chuckled.
Oh yeah, the expect nothing. Actually, I wrote. This is a Hugo Speed line. Expect nothing.
It is a Hugo Speed. Expect nothing.
That was Albert Wesker's motto. A little less catchy, but maybe, but infinitely more useful and virtually guaranteed that nothing would ever surprise him. This is where I figured out they keep calling it a copter because I think this is fourth and fifth time right before that line where they say copter. Yeah. Wesker loves poop. I wrote this as a note on page 32 for me. His, let's see, getting a sudden clear mental image of Irons, his pudgy cheeks red with anger and crap dribbling down his leg.
Why? This book is fucking insane with poo-poo.
It's insane. I
don't get. This is like the fourth time I think we mentioned poo-poo. Third time, fourth time.
I think third time about that we mentioned poo-poo.
It's pee-pee poo-poo. It's a very poo-poo book.
More Barry lust with his giant biceps flexing, and then a little bit of Dick Valentine slime that I made sure to write.
Yes, yes.
Her father was Dick Valentine, the best thief in the business a couple of decades back. He trained her to follow in his footsteps, and word had it that she had done quite well until Daddy had been incarcerated. Chapter 2 is literally just them getting prepped.
Yeah.
Like it's a full chapter where they're just going, getting prepped, thinking about the mission. What about the mission? Barry thinking about his huge biceps, his massive python. You know what? He uses a Colt python and he has gigantic pythons.
That is true. That is true. Chapter 3, I think it just goes through like it's chapter 3. Sorry,
I made sure to write.
I'm laughing. I know what you're gonna say. Let me explain. So it starts out with like Jill looking at everybody else's lockers in the locker room of the Stars office, and she mentions that Brad Vickers had a stack of self-help books, and Joseph a Three Stooges calendar.
I'm so sad Joseph gets ripped apart. He has a fucking. He's probably got Shemp in there. It's a calendar.
Joseph
he's probably got Shemp.
He's Shempin'. Dude, when I read that, I was like, I was so happy because I know you smiled.
I smiled
was like,
big.
My dear friend.
I have to give this book
big.
a recommend just on the Three Stooges calendar pull.
That's the funniest shit ever, dude. I was so happy.
Chapter 3, I think, is a lot of just still prep, right? Like I made sure to write that Jill has 3 different hats in her locker.
It is a lot of prep, but then she finds like she finds a freaky deaky guy, a freaky little guy called Trent, I think.
Oh right, there is the freaky mysterious businessman named Trent, right?
The mysterious figure, yeah, and he gives her a microcomputer.
Here's an epic computer. Please use this for me so I can get a bunch of Umbrella stuff in computer.
He's just a mysterious figure that shows up in the locker room because she forgot something when she gets on the helicopter and she has to go back. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we get immediately into, I think, Chris POV where I like this Wesker hits Jill with a meme. Just the problem, Jill.
Problem, Jill?
Look at this guy pulling out the old school troll face before it was relevant. Holy shit.
You can actually hear him fucking...
You can hear his face transforming. Do you think that where's the orange glowing weak spot on the on Wesker's troll face?
He has a big fucking pustule on his chinny chin chin.
A lot of slopping around while they're in the helicopter. I did make sure to write that Barry fucks his gun with the Barry was gently rubbing a soft cloth over his beloved Colt Python.
He does that a lot in the opening.
Chris gets chapters. Did you notice that Chris gets like a fucking whiff of Jill? Did you find that weird at all?
What? What do you mean he get? Wait,
when Jill gets in the helicopter, he caught a faint scent of her skin, a clean, soapy smell.
Oh, I did actually. Yeah, okay, I did actually stop. It's so weird. I thought this was gonna be like a setup for later. Like, oh, is Chris and Mrs. Jill? Are they gonna fug?
No, they're not gonna fuck.
They're not gonna fug. Starting here up to like a few chapters into the Spencer mansion, nothing interesting happens. This is when the book crawls.
Yeah, this is where we had a rough time reading, and I know that Billy and I were both talking about this
really rough
because
time
it's a lot of just blocks of text of nothing happening. And when we say nothing happens, this isn't even like setup. It's literally nothing of import. They're just reiterating shit that they already talked about earlier. They're just talking about the fucking mission. They're just on the helicopter.
Worse than that, they're arguing about details of the mission that are so fucking... Who cares? Like, the reason why they're on the helicopter is because they got a fucking distress signal from their Alpha team and Bravo team. I think their helicopter fucking crashed, so they have to go.
Their Alpha team, Bravo team's helicopter crashed.
They are fucking around the entire time.
They're chewing the fat a little bit.
They're just arguing the entire time, and it's like, oh my god, just fucking go. They're in danger. Go save your fucking friends.
Yeah, we're getting like paragraphs about Barry thinking about his gun.
Yeah, and how he's a card holder. It was Barry nodded in agreement. Just because he paid his dues to the NRA didn't mean he was some trigger-happy dumbass looking to kill. He just liked guns.
I wrote LMAO. I highlighted that paragraph and I wrote LMAO.
I know, Sam. Chapter 4, Brendan.
Oh, yep, nope. Copter. There are so many copters in this book. They never fucking say helicopter. They never say helo. They say chopper once. They just keep saying copter.
I have one thing I wanted to ask, and this is more of a maybe it's because I'm fucking ESL, but in chapter 4, she emerged from the copse of trees. Isn't copse already a group of trees?
Oh, copse.
Wouldn't that
like a copse of trees?
Yeah. Copse of trees. Wouldn't that be redundant?
Let me do a Google. I don't actually know.
I thought copse was just
it is a small group of trees. Yeah, of course,
so
that would be redundant.
Saying a group of trees of trees.
A group. Well, yeah, it's like ATM machine.
Yeah, that's like a group of trees of trees. That's why I read that. I was like, that's a weird way to. That's weird.
I did also note that when their helicopter like crashes.
I'm glad that I'm not insane. I thought it was weird.
Their copter crashes.
Their copter doesn't crash.
Oh, did they land their copter? Right.
They landed. They start a perimeter. They start searching for the other guys.
For Bravo team. I did write down. Why does Wesker have a fucking pen light instead of just a flashlight? Like, I thought that was fucking weird.
That a pen light is not enough. A pen light is so tiny.
Fucking weird with like the stars is like a militarized kind of like elite cop squad, and you have a fucking pen light that you're sweeping the cops of trees with.
Yeah, because he goes into the helicopter for Bravo team trying to find survivors, and he can't find anything. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Should have been a copter of trees.
Pen light. Ooh.
So Joseph fucking dies, his cool fucking shirt, his leather jacket, they find Joseph.
His tattoo gone, fucking mangled ass tattoo, smoking a big fat doinkus.
Joseph's body was all but hidden by the 3 animals that tore at him, ripping at him with gnashing, dripping jaws, no fur, no skin. The dog creatures.
The dog creatures come out, and then the cowardly member, which one was it? Was it Brad? I'm gonna be real. I got really confused between Barry and Brad at this point because they're too similar, and I was getting very bored. Brad, who is with Alpha Team, goes into the helicopter and flies away. And I think, does he crash? I think he
crashes the copter, yeah. I do love them calling dog things and dog creatures instead of just going like fucked up dog. Like, it's just dog thing, dog creature, dog man thing. Well, I mean, there is a thing dog, but I've heard the thing dog, but I don't know about the dog thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked also how I doubt that this was a reference to the game, but Chris does scream, "No, don't go!" which I thought was very fun.
Yep.
And then they go into the Spencer mansion.
They get the Spencer. They mention Barry's considerable bulk, and then they get into the mansion where 54 changes.
I do love how they're like, "Oh my god, everything's fucked up! Ah, we're getting chased by dogs."
Barry, you're so
Barry,
bulky.
you're beautiful. You're
the
such
bulbous,
a lumpy
bulky
boy.
Barry. Ooh,
You're a
the
lumpy
triple B.
boy.
Now, I do like when we get into the mansion. I think that it's maybe...
This is chapter 5.
Yeah, we're at chapter 5. I do like when they get to the mansion. I do think that it's a little bit chewing the fat. I do understand kind of setting up these characters from like a narrative perspective, but it's a lot of like, Barry's so fucking hot, Wesker's so fucking evil, Copter is so fucking Copter. Chapter 5, we get into the mansion, and I feel like this is when, for me, things started to pick up a little bit.
It picked up a lot. It was...
Can I say that Jill's POVs,
yeah,
especially in the mansion, this is the through line through the book. Jill's POVs through the mansion, and I don't know if this carries on beyond chapter 10, but she's always thinking about her fucking dad, so she's thinking about, like, casing the joint.
Yes, there she is. She is, yeah.
It was a palace, pure and simple, what her father would have called a perfect score. And I'm just, is there, like, smooth jazz playing through Jill's head, like, whenever she...
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. She mentions her dad so often. She's casing it like a freaking palace from Persona.
Chapter 5, we're in the mansion. You know the man.
Bro did not want to. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know the dad's a phantom thief.
Yeah, I really like how immediately this is a nightmare of continuity, and you should never do this really unless you are counting. SD Perry wrote out, Jill ejected the clip from her Beretta and counted 3 rounds left plus 2 loaded magazines on her belt, 33 shots. Chris had 20. Like, she goes through every single bullet that everybody has. And I'm like, oh, girl, no, never do that. That's like a continuity nightmare. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because holy shit, who would count? But like, oh, I
think there are some people who remember to be like, how many arrows do you have in tabletop? And there are some GMs like me who are like, I don't give a fuck about normal arrows.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, but like, don't do that. Like, don't count ammo. It's gonna be really boring.
See, I had a pet peeve on page 58 for me where Jill was suddenly reminded of every horror movie she'd ever seen. A strange house and a strange noise. She shivered.
I don't hate that.
And I know this is 98. I know this is, I'm remembering, and comment section, I'm remembering this is published in 1998 about the very first Resident Evil game. So I am taking that into consideration in my purview. I do like this book, and I am excited to continue reading it. Man, do I fucking hate it when a book hits you with so this is just like a freaking horror movie.
I don't like that, but I do respect one thing. They don't I'm so happy that we are not fucking around with the what were that? What was that? What were those creatures? No, it's like, no, bitch, those are mutant dogs and they're like trying to eat you. Shoot them. Like I like that they don't do the fucking annoying ass thing where they're like, what was that? Oh my god, my humanity. Can I shoot these guys? I don't know. It's like, no, just fucking go.
How do you feel about the POV swap right after with Jill writing to Chris, where Chris also in his first paragraph mentions movies?
I mean, it's tropey.
I love the Jill horror movies. Whoa. And then Chris hits it with he was in a dining hall, the kind he'd only ever seen in movies about rich people.
Dude, actually, this is one thing I wanted to mention. I don't know how well you remember the game, but this is starting here. I think you could use this book as a walkthrough. Like, actually, it is so accurate to the game. You can definitely use it as a walkthrough. All the way, like, because like we said, he goes across the big kitchen. He opens the side door where you see your first zombie in the game. This is such a random fucking moment in the book, but he's just talking about how it starts smelling like death.
Oh, are you talking about his flashback?
One summer when he was a kid, the chain had come off his bike when he'd been out on a ride with some friends. He ended up in a ditch about 6 inches away from a choice bit of roadkill. The dried up pulpy remains of what once might have been a woodchuck. And he keeps going like for so long about how this woodchuck
time
stank.
and the summer heat had dispatched the worst of the stink. Though what had remained had been bad enough, much to the amusement of his buddies, he'd vomited his lunch all over the carcass, taken a deep breath and puked again. He remembered the sun-baked scent of dry and rot like thickly soured milk and bile, the same smell that lingered in the corridor now like a bad dream. I wrote down in this paragraph, stand by me but with vermin.
I am so happy. I was smiling so hard. I want more like random non sequiturs. Like,
it reminded me of the BJ Blazkowicz dad flashbacks in Wolfenstein, where Chris Redfield just goes through his head. He's like, it was a warm summer, the warmest summer I'd ever seen that year. I was 7 years old and I saw the decaying fetid wap.
The what?
I saw the
fetid wet ass pussy.
I saw the decaying fetid wap of.
Oh my fucking god, dude! But yeah, this is when we see our first zombie, and you know what? Like I said, huge respect for this book for not fucking around, and Chris being like, what is like he just goes straight up like, oh my god, that's a fucking zombie! What the fuck? Let's shoot it. Thank you.
Yep, and we get in some goopy slime.
We're not fucking around. It's a zombie. Shoot it. Fuck off.
Yeah, another movie reference on page 62 for me, where he'd seen enough late night movies to know what he was looking at, but he still couldn't believe it because it's so.
I know, but at least it doesn't fuck around. It's like it is what it is.
No, yeah, it's like this is where we start to get a lot of the goop thesaurus, where it's just
Gooporus.
Behind him, a wet movement. Chris spun, eyes wide as the twitching creature clawed at the wooden door, pulling itself toward him in an eager, single-minded silence. Chris realized that it was drooling, and the sight of the sticky pink rivulets pooling to the wood floor finally spurred him to action. Fleshy tissue, spreading like a red lake.
She writes zombies like they're fucking peanuts.
They're fat, wet sacks of meat, and we're not shying away from it.
We're not shying away from it.
I did also, every time SD Perry does like to describe the zombies' moans with like a soft, hungry moan, and I couldn't fucking help myself. We're just, big pizza.
Oh, Chris, come here.
We get those shots of Chris like firing at the zombie. We switch right back to Jill.
Yeah.
Are we Jill or are we Barry? We might be Barry.
Oh wait, no, we're Barry.
I feel like we're Barry and Jill. We are Barry's head. Yeah.
It kind of switches around between Barry and Jill, but this is Barry. I know because I
Oh yeah, what a balls up operation. Was that the one you annotated?
No. Barry moved towards the first door, feeling good that Jill was at his back. He thought she was kind of a bitchy.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Barry?
before that, Barry has the thought where he says, Christ, what a balls up what a balls up this operation was.
I love Barry, dude. I want his brain.
What is the balls up? What do you mean this operation was a balls up?
I think she wanted to say it went tits up, but she couldn't say tits, so she said balls.
No, I think it's the following paragraph that you're talking about. I wrote misogynist Barry because he can't even say tits up. He's so scared of women, even though he loves his wife and daughters.
I know.
So he can't even say balls up. He thought she was kind of bitchy when she'd first transferred, but she was proving to be a bright and capable soldier. A welcome addition to the Alphas.
I fucking love Barry. I want him to be my POV at all times. He's such a funny guy.
We also get Barry goes flashback in his head during Barry's section where he sees Ken's body. Kenneth Sullivan, one of the field scouts, one of the Bravo team bodies they find.
Yeah, that's the body you find at the start of the game with next to the zombie. That was what's his face from fucking Alpha.
In your copy, does it also have teen-aged son?
Yes.
Is that just a weird 1998 thing, or like teenaged is just a word? I don't know why there's a hyphen there. This is a nitpick.
I also thought that. I didn't annotate it though.
Because what we get Chris, and Chris has the fucking Stand By Me flashback, but Barry also has like two flashbacks. He's thinking about his daughters. His daughters in this are called Moira and Polly, which is like something I would name parrots.
I'm 90% sure that Moira is a playable character in Resident Evil Revelations 2, actually.
That I didn't know. I was like,
she can't stop saying fuck. Yeah, no, that's an actual thing.
Like, I assumed I was like, that might be like his kids' names. Like, that's fine. But I also was like, why are his kids named like parrots?
Because Barry's an old-fashioned kind of guy.
True, but Barry gets this fucking flashback scene because he's thinking about the Gur. Barry had once done a covert hostage rescue in Ecuador where a group of farmers had been held for weeks by a band of insane guerrilla rebels. Several of the hostages had been killed early in the siege, and after the Stars managed to capture the rebels, Barry had gone with one of the survivors to record the deaths. The 4 victims had been shot, their bodies dumped behind the small wooden shack that the rebels had taken over. After 3 weeks in the South American sun, the skin on their faces had shriveled, the cracking lined flesh pulling away from sinew and bone. He'll remember those faces clearly, and he saw them again now as he looked down at the fallen creature. It wore the face of death.
I like that at the end of his...
Oh, somebody forgot to tell this guy that dead people don't walk around.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody forgot to tell this guy that dead people don't walk around.
Barry is a super dilf in this book.
I know, he's awesome.
He's kind of the main character in this book so far for us, I think.
He is, absolutely, he is.
Chapter 6 now. So Barry's yelling around, just yelling, Wesker, where are you, Wesker?
Yeah, this is back to Jill.
Yep. And Jill she's not thinking about movies anymore. Now she's thinking about books. After a lifetime of reading trashy novels about serial killers, is a cannibal zombie so hard to swallow? I love media. She's also thinking about the 2 kids again, Becky and Pris. I wrote down Jill loves kids, Charlie.
This part especially is when we start, this is just a playthrough.
Yeah, we're starting to get into the active, I'm lockpicking the doors. This is, I really like how throughout the book, S.D. Perry contextualizes the puzzles, which we'll get to.
It's kind of cool. I really like that we're going into these characters' minds.
And they also think it's fucking stupid.
It is stupid, but I kind of love it because I don't know. It's so accurate that it kind of ends up being interesting. And she did her research. All of these are the actual answers to the actual puzzles in the fucking game.
Oh, let's see. This chapter is mostly...
They're just talking about their situation for the most part. I like that at one point, Barry's like, I'm going to go persuade one of the doors to open because he's such a mega dilf. I thought he was just going to go to the door and be like, open sesame for me.
He really does just, here are my pythons and here's my python.
Yeah. She finds the actual fucking things like Night Eyes, Tiger Eyes, Four Crest, Gate of New Life, East Eagle, West Wall. That's just the puzzles, man.
It's literally listed in the same
puzzles.
So there are 2 different kinds of fonts. There's lore font in this, and the lore font is Night Keys, Tiger Eyes, 4 Crests. Oh, I see. This is where I really started to write. I wrote a note, which is like your mom wrote a horror novel.
Oh, no.
Because I realized the goopy way that the zombies get thesaurused is the way that I feel like this is the way that men sometimes get described in a sexy Harlequin novel, because it's always 3 describers where it's because it's festering, necrotic, wet. He had felt its hot, fetid breath against his face.
Yeah.
He ejected the clip from the gummy weapon, which I also wrote Kingdom Hearts because I'd never heard gummy weapon used in that context.
Is crazy. I know. It's there. There is a lot of for as much as it picks up, there is one big flaw with this book, and it's that it is so accurate that it also whenever you encounter a zombie in the game, you also read multiple paragraphs of them shooting the zombie, reloading their gun, waiting for it to die.
The goo on his vest, Chris edged to the right, dipped in a thin layer of slime. Its pale, hairless skull wobbling on its emaciated neck. A gasping moan behind him, a fresh wave of rancid stink assaulting his senses. Bits of its putrid gut spilling out across its shattered abdomen.
Stop it! I'm getting horny.
And then this is all like Chris's segment where he's like, shit, fuck, shit, shooting zombies, going, fuck the goo, fuck the fetid breath.
I do like also that in the first Resident Evil games, how you can tell if a zombie is downed, it makes a big old puddle on the ground. Every single time that a zombie dies, SD Perry takes the time to mention, oh, by the way, there's a big old puddle of blood. Every single time. Never fucking forgets.
We get out of Chris's segment, we meet Rebecca Chambers, which I thought I made sure to notate that they make sure in Rebecca's first POV to mention at least twice that she's 18 years old. She's 18 years old. She's 18 years old. And then we get hit with it was Chris Redfield, only the most attractive guy in the stars, not to mention her superior.
Oh, yes.
Chris wiped at his face and peered up at her with bloodshot eyes. Rebecca Chambers, right? right? And I think that's the funniest fucking line.
In my head, I know, just like bro's looking up with like fucking stoner eyes.
He's
like,
looking up with the saddest, wettest eyes. Chris Redfield don't even ask you to continue the bloodline. He just looks at you like this. Picture of the whale.
I fucking love how he's just like, you can hear his moist, disgusting eyes.
You can hear the wet blinking of his eyes. Like the
SpongeBob type fucking. Rebecca, is that you?
Rebecca's doing chemistry shit. I did mention, I sent this to Billy while I was reading. It was the Rebecca saying, brain chemistry, she said, but these numbers are all screwed up. The serotonin and norepinephrine are too low. But look here, the dopamine is off the chart. We're talking big time schizo.
We're talking big time schizo. Dude,
Followed by
it's so
the-
90s.
the
It's the
second-
most 90s thing.
Being an 18-year-old college grad, she had a lot of that. A lot of time, where she has a lot of time on her hands.
They also mentioned like, yeah, because she's so young, she's hip with lingo, and like her lingo.
They call her a whiz. She is I know she's a bit of a Wesley Crusher analog.
Yeah.
Not analog, but she's a bit of Wesley Crusher. But she is just a holy shit, the whiz kid.
Yeah, I also like how this is when they find the fucking silver key with the sword on it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, dude, I
like,
love the puzzle shit in this so much.
It is
I love
actually,
that it's like
no, but that is actually where you find that fucking key in the game. I keep repeating it, but it's so insane to me how actually
I don't think that's insane at all. I think that's why like novelizations get made. It's the weirder
to be a walkthrough.
Well, yeah, like realistically, I've read a lot of video game novelizations, but this is my first one where it's of a game. Like I've read the Gears of War books, the Halo books, and I went through. I have the Borderlands books on my docket at some point here. But they're usually what they normally do for video game adaptations, and they do this later for Resident Evil as well. They're usually original novels based in the universe, so the authors kind of go fucking wacky crazy with shit. Like, I actually weirdly like the Gears books. I haven't read them in a while since high school. I liked them back in high school, but this is a novelization of the game. So, of course, the one thing that is going to go right is the stuff that is from the game.
I know. I guess I'm so impressed by how... Because I kind of didn't expect SD Perry to like play through the game and actually fucking probably take notes. Because there are details in this book that are so specific to the game. She must have played it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to engage in the media that you are writing about. And if it's a video game, you should engage in the video game. Like it's
cool.
I mean, SD Perry went on to write fucking 7 Resident Evil books because it's novelization of Resident Evil 1, RA2.
This is probably, from what I've been told from my friend, this is the most accurate of them. And afterwards, it kind of goes on its own thing because there were not enough games, but she kept writing them.
Yeah, because they write SD Perry writes 2 original novels, but then does RE1, 2, 3, 0, and Code Veronica.
Because I know City of the Dead
City of the Dead is RE2.
But that's volume 3.
Yeah, because Caliban Cove is an original one after Umbrella Conspiracy.
Yeah, it's not based on... It is with the characters from Resident Evil 0, I think, but it's like a...
0 is 0 Hour.
Dude, what the fuck are these books, actually? I don't know what Caliban Cove is. I'm kind of interested by it now. Because I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, Caliban Cove is... When I was doing research on the RE books, I came to the same thing where the novelizations of the games are a lot better than the original books. And I was like, damn it, we can't just start at 2... But I think
we can't. Listen, I'm open to the idea of in the future going back to this because this is very enjoyable. And also because I've heard when we announced on the thing that we were doing these books, somebody actually was like, oh my God, I can't wait for you guys to talk about Caliban Cove. And I'm like, oh damn, is it that bad?
I also saw a comment of being like, holy shit, Umbrella Conspiracy is fucking awesome. And I was like, oh no.
I said, oh no, but then but to be fair, I said, oh no, when I was like in the boring parts of the book. Now I'm like, I kind of love it.
I think there's a good, like, when they're in the game, I do enjoy the parts where we're in the game, when we're doing like stuff in the game and we're getting kind of these like overly chunky and bulky, like almost awkwardly written segments where we're getting like so much detail about stuff that we don't need. But I kind of love how bulky and awkward it is because Resident Evil 1 is a bulky and awkward game. And that's part of the reason I love those games is because of how bulky and awkward they can be.
Chapter freaking 7, Brendan.
I know. We gotta catch up here.
You know what they do? And I love that. They actually do the infamous dog jump scare in this chapter. The fucking big crash followed by a bunch of rabid dogs attacking Jill.
Oh, crash. The window exploded inward, right? Oh, right. No. Okay.
That's just the infamous dog jump scare from the first game.
I did make sure to note because I've never heard this written this way. It's massive claws beating a brief tattoo across the wet floor.
There's a lot. There's some weird things, Brendan. This is a weird
Are they like the dog is scratching a Dwayne The Rock Johnson like fucking Maui tattoo into the ground? Like what's like a tribal tat? Like what's the how many of the dogs in Resident Evil like should be wearing a tap out shirt?
What can I say except you're dead now?
What can I say except you're bald now?
No!
You see the wig? I love the wig. Anyway.
The V?
Yeah, so we're getting Jill stuff. Jill is kind of getting into a little bit of puzzle slime.
She killed those bad boys. There's a lot of things about like the head. Aim for the head. That is the weak spot of the enemy.
Yeah, Jill's segment, of course, is much like the games. Like she's going through the puzzles, shoot for the head. We get into Chris. Chris is edging a lot of edging towards the edging away from the. But I love that Chris picks up the lore note. And I can't remember if this is in the game or not. But I love okay. So he gets this fucking diary.
If you're talking about the diary, it wasn't because I mean it might have been actually. Let me check. I'm gonna check, but I feel like because this is a lot of text for a PS1 game. This is a lot of text. I don't think that they had as many entries. They might have like the game might have had like
versus the book that is all text.
Keeper's Diary. Is it the Keeper's Diary?
Maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The Keeper himself now a zombie. Original. And we played poker with the. Oh, this is like actual. Wait, May 12th. I've been hearing. Now I feel better. No, okay. It's a bit different. It's very accurate actually, but it's a bit different. Yeah. Wow. Never mind.
Oh no. Yeah, I did find the. It's a little bit different, but it's the May 9th entry in the May 9th entry in the game is at night we played poker with Scott the Guard, Alias, and Steve the Researcher. Steve is very lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. Same thing. I mean, played poker tonight with Scott and Alias from Security and Steve from Research. Steve was the big winner, but I think he was cheating. Scumbag. I mean, pretty much the same context, just changed up a little bit.
Even fucking fever gone, but itchy, hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, Scott came, ugly face, so killed him. Tasty for itchy, tasty. Yeah.
Itchy, tasty.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if it was reusing text, but it absolutely is reusing text from that.
That's totally fine because RE1 is the localization. And so I think they've just made the lore text here. They've made it a little less cumbersome.
Yeah. I think the remake localization does a little bit better, but who cares?
Yeah, you got to contextualize it for the book. I mean, this is mostly this is Chris reading the lore entry like in the game, and then we're straight up into chapter 8. Chris is thinking about shit. Is this shit contagious? What the fuck? Will I be a zombie? But chapter 8, we get Wesker. Wesker's just thinking about his mind. He's thinking about hidden keys and secret tunnels. And he also thinks of movies because everybody's POV has to think of movies. It's like I'm trapped in an espionage thriller, complete with mad scientists and a ticking clock.
Spy crap.
I love the end of chapter 8, which is shorter. It's shorter than the other chapters, but I love Chris wasn't viable. He was too gung-ho, and Jill was still an unknown quantity. Barry Burton was a family man. And both Jill and Chris trusted him.
No, this is the line I thought you were gonna. I'm so obvious. But when Wesker had enjoyed a good laugh over that one, there was no way the white boys would risk further infection. I don't know why.
Oh, I didn't read that shit. Well, because they mentioned white umbrella, and I can't remember if that's like a thing. I know there's different umbrellas.
I don't know. I can't remember if the white umbrella was a thing or not, but when he said he calls the fucking people the white boys, I was like, dude, come on.
Wesker is your fucking weird dad. You have to join a white umbrella. Join me at White Umbrella, please. My boss is saying some really weird shit, dude.
You join me in White Umbrella. Let's be white boys together.
Let's be white boys together, Barry.
And I do like how I like how he's like, I'm gonna go on my little adventure.
My name is Wesker. I work for Umbrella. I gotta get Barry Burton on my side. This is like a freaking spy movie. Can't wait for the white boys to see this one.
Chapter 9.
We're back to Jill, and once again, Jill's descriptions. I made sure to note the Jill's an art thief. Let's see. So she's in the gallery. She's doing the painting puzzle.
She's slowly figuring it out. She's like talking about the mechanics of how the trap works, and I do like how she has a dick flashback. Where
I made sure to mention right before that where it's she's thinking about why did anybody set up a gallery for such mediocre art? A baby, a young man? The paintings weren't awful, but they weren't exactly inspired either. I wouldn't steal these. My daddy wouldn't steal these either. These aren't worth Dick. These aren't worth Dick Valentine at all.
Only fools accept the obvious and go no further. Use your brain, Jilly.
Yeah, that's the Dick Valentine flashback. Yeah, I did see the Jilly. I saw the Jilly and I went, well, who the fuck calls that? Jilly. Only fools accept the obvious and go no further. Use your brain, Jilly. It's like how I talk to you and I say, okay, Billy.
It is a strange. I do think that. Dude, she has to be the dumbest fucking. She's so stupid. Because who
the fuck writes S.D. Perry? Who the fuck writes Case a Prospect? Who the fuck? What the?
There's it's Perryisms, Brendan.
There's so many Perryisms, dude. I'm platypusing my fucking shit out.
I fucking hate how she. It is kind of a stupid fucking thing, but she repeats how it's like from a baby to an old man, and she repeats. This clue, from cradle to grave, what could that mean? For like the longest time, it's like, dude, anybody would get this. This is so simple.
Yeah, I did write eventually. It's like once the solution occurred to her, she was almost embarrassed by the simplicity of it. And how I contextualize that is,
no fucking shit.
I imagined I was SD Perry playing the games and getting confused at the fucking puzzles and going, oh my god, I'm so fucking stupid.
You know what? That's actually kind of funny.
And I think that's how you play Resident Evil games sometimes as a normal person. Is the puzzles aren't like hard, but like sometimes you
get stumped on the dumbest thing. I get what you mean.
Related but a different game, like the piano puzzle in Silent Hill 1. If you know about music theory, the puzzle is infinitely harder because you're thinking it has anything to do with music.
Oh, God,
and it's not. It's just about key placement. And your brain is like, oh my god, I'm the dumbest person ever. I thought I had to like whittle a tune. I just had to press like 5 keys. I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, just POV is her solving a puzzle. We get into Chris. Rebecca and Chris are back together again. Chris gives an English please moment to Rebecca. Rebecca says,
English please.
Rebecca says, you're looking at a strain chart. Rebecca said brightly, that one's a host for generating genomic libraries containing methylated cytosine or adenine or adenine residues, depending. Chris cocked an eyebrow at her. Let's pretend that I have no idea what you're talking about and try that again. He's a dumb motherfucker.
It was the 90s.
I know it was the 90s. I know this is before
it was before we got
inundated with
cliche.
English please. I know.
English please. Yeah.
Oh, a virus, huh? What the freak? Oh, so yeah, we're doing Rebecca and Chris. We're getting some goopy zombie stuff. Chris is fighting a zombie. It moaned again, a wet phlegmy sounds, and brought a handful of slushy gray matter to its eager lips. You get what I mean when I say this is like a mom wrote a horror novel?
Eager lips is so whack.
Everything is so wet.
You're
and
talking about a
ooshy-gushy.
vegan zombie.
It's ooshy-gushy. It's an ooshy-gushy fucking game. Chris, shooting at the fucking door with his Chris Redfield blast.
Redfield blast!
Anything you wanted to say, Leia? There's a picture of a sword next to the lock. Oh my god, the puzzler. Chris is doing his key puzzles, and we get into Barry.
Then we go to Barry. I love that Barry goes into the kitchen. The moment I realized we were in the kitchen, I put on the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, we get some more great ooshy-gushy lines with Barry that I made sure to write down his name. And staring down at this zombie hash in front of him, he realized that he was going to have to go back up and break down another door. His shoulder is getting fucked up with his bulky girth as he's slamming open doors, just fucking busting through like the Kool-Aid Man.
I like that in the kitchen scene, he hears somebody in the elevator and he's like, what the hell is that? And then he finds Wesker, and Wesker says, hold on. Wesker's grin widened. Sorry about that. I had some business to attend to. Call of nature.
I made sure to write down his poo-poo pee-pee or running Barry theme.
Was he peeing in the elevator? What?
Before that on page 113, I just want to mention some notes that I have, which are Captain Wesker stepped into view, his perpetual sunglasses propped on his tan brow, his perpetual stew glasses. What?
I read that too.
And also Barry wanting a Scooby-Doo moment right before that, which is he generally wasn't the type to frighten easily or let his imagination get out of hand, but he half expected to see some white sheeted spook rattling chains every time he turned around.
He's gonna see the spookler.
Yeah, but Wesker's like grinning at him with his scary fucking grin. And Wesker's grin, if anything, seemed to grow wider. It looked like every tooth was showing. What the fuck does that mean? That's such a weird fucking
Oh no, you
sentence.
know what that means. That means he fucking turned into literal
Did he
face.
open his fucking mouth wide so that Barry could get a good look at his fucking molder? What do you mean it looked like every tooth was showing?
He was literal face, Brendan.
Okay, but immediately after that, Barry, I need your help. Have you ever heard of White Umbrella? That's shit you don't want the captain of your fucking cop squad to say. You don't want, have you ever heard of White Umbrella?
Oh my fucking god. This book is awesome, fellas. You have to read it. It's amazing.
This is Wesker's kidnapped Barry's family. He's got like people with guns on the trigger, but the murder is fucking family.
Yeah.
Barry's like, Kathy, the babies.
The babies.
And that's our end chapter is Barry clenched his giant fists, knuckles whitening, and promised himself that Wesker would pay for what he was doing with interest.
Chapter freaking 10, last chapter for us.
Yeah, this is Rebecca does the piano puzzle.
No, well, we start with Jill.
I made sure to write
yes.
She's getting squashed, right? Like this is Jill about to get squashed.
Oh yeah, but before that, she felt a vague wistfulness for the old days with Dick.
Oh, true. She wistful thoughts of Dick. I understand
wistful
that.
Thoughts of Dick. This fucking book, man.
I did while she gets the shotgun and the ceiling is coming down and her
I know what you're gonna say.
Holy shit, bad thing. I wrote Golem Valentine.
Bad thing.
Holy shit. My precious Dick.
When I read that, I was laughing so hard, dude. Holy shit, bad thing. Because that's
you know
the
what?
scene where she grabs the shotgun and the walls
Holy
start
shit,
fucking...
dude. I'm thinking of fucking... if Ego Raptor made Resident Awesome, that would totally be in there.
Holy shit, bad thing. Oh, you're so true. You're so right. Oh, no.
I actually didn't have many notes about this chapter because I think this is where I started to really pick it up because I did like, Jill into Barry. Barry does his Barry blast. You were almost a Jill quesadilla. Thinking about...
I was really sad that no reference to that. Instead of going, you were almost a Jill sandwich, he goes, are you all right? Lame.
It's super lame. Reminding me to mention Creel's old Resident Evil 1 video where I did the voice for Barry for him. And
I did the fucking sound for that.
I love that line read where you were almost a Jill panini. You were almost a Jill quesadilla. And how, did Creel ever tell you the story about how when he got Dana Snyder, the voice of Master Shake, to do like VO for him for another video, he showed Dana Snyder.
Didn't say you were like terrible or some shit?
Yeah, Dana Snyder, I have my voice acting career. Dana Snyder said I suck, which is great because the Barry lines were supposed to suck. So I feel like
That's the funniest shit ever, dude.
Dude, Gazpacho from Chowder thinks I fucking suck. It's going to make me smile every day.
Where are we switching to now? I think it's Rebecca.
Rebecca Piano Puzzle, which I don't have a lot of notes about this one because I think this one is actually... I didn't mind this chapter.
I thought it was weird that this description right here, she smiled up at him and hesitantly, looking even younger than she was. Her spiky red bangs... What? Her spiky red... She doesn't have red bangs. She has brown hair. Even in the original art, she has not red hair.
Maybe the CRT that SD Perry played on was weird. You know what? I'm looking at the original art.
That is so...
And I wonder... I'm looking at the brown in the original art, like not just the original, oh, dude, I figured it out. I'm looking at the actual OG art from like the guidebook. And
the guidebook.
Yeah, where she has the band.
I just realized what if she didn't play the game and she just read the fucking Brady Games fucking guide?
Well, because let me post. Sense. Do you see the original, like not the CG art, but like the art? Let me hit you with the original art. Do you think she said red for the hair because it's a lighter shade of brown? It's shading. Do you think she was looking at not the actual fucking game, but looking at the fucking like the book that
the anime art style thing. Yeah,
or the booklet that came with the game.
But in the game itself, so I guess she never played the game itself because she does not have red hair.
She does not have red hair, or you know, maybe it just got lost in translation. Or even better, do you think she just watched the FMV video at really low quality because the red bandana she wears on a low quality CRT? Billy, look at the low quality pic I just posted.
She definitely looks like she has red hair. You're totally right.
Because she has a red fucking bandana.
Oh. Either way, Brendan, she solves the Moonlight freaking Sonata. She opens a secret passage.
She gets the crest.
This is where adventure ends for now, Brendan.
I know.
And you know what? It also is where the previous owner of this book's adventure ends because I found their bookmark.
Oh, they stopped reading it at chapter 10, so we're going to go further beyond.
It is very interesting because this bookmark they used was from the London, Ontario Transit Commission. It was a fucking valid for 90 minutes time cut for their public transport, dated February 28th, 2013.
Oh.
It is very strange to hold something so old. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that's the book up until now.
Yeah, so it's chapter 1 through 10. Final thoughts so far. Like, we're gonna keep reading it.
I fucking love it.
I am a love and a hate because I know that with a video game book you're going to get some awkward authorship and some awkward writing, but I do like this a lot more than Alien Labyrinth, where like, actually, I'm gay, and you should believe me, and then he puts a woman in the labyrinth, the bad guy.
All right, that's it. I'm pissed off. You're going in the labyrinth.
You're gonna go into the Alien Labyrinth. What if the aliens abducted me and they left me alive because they wanted to, like, they were all dying and they were trying to make soup out of me? I think it's a lot better, and I think that I'm excited at some point on my own personal reading journey to read something later by S.D. Perry. I think that Labyrinth was maybe written very early in her career and it's bulky, and I think that Umbrella Conspiracy is also a little bit bulky and unwieldy, but it is, I feel like, a clear, definite upgrade from Labyrinth. Labyrinth, I mean, also is a comic book adaptation versus a video game adaptation. So I think I'm going to have to give this one a fucking W so far, because it is, no matter what I say, even if I dislike parts of it from a critical lens, one, she wrote that on the fucking page. She got that out there. And then two, it's so fucking oopy goopy. It's so disgustingly gooshy. And I fucking love a gooshy book, like a gooshy wet book.
I enjoy it.
It's so fetid and nasty.
I enjoy it a lot. I'm having a good time with it. It's the best bad thing we've read.
It's a good bad book so far.
Good bad book. Yeah, because dude, some of the crap we've read, oh my fucking god.
If you like kind of the hokiness of RE1 like I do, or like some of the original Resident Evils and the FMV cutscenes, this is embodied in that flavor. The perpetual stew glasses that Wesker wears, he's always seeing through this kind of lens.
I like it. I would recommend it, honestly.
Especially as a video game book. I think this is maybe, out of all the video game books I've read, this is one that's definitely captured my attention, especially once we got into the mansion.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get to spiders. I'm really, really wondering how we're going to handle spiders in this. And I'm thinking about reading Caliban Cove on my own as well.
I've been told from my friend who read all of these that it get the fucking around where we're at is when it starts going kind of crazy, which I am very excited. Like when they get to the gardens is when it gets really wacky and weird.
I can't wait to get into the later games, like 2 and 3, because I want to know how S.D. Perry handles the giant orange glowing weak spots.
I mean, let's talk about the fucking Birkin green, like glowing spot. I know where to hit.
He green mans scarily around the green corridor until I want to see S.D. Perry. Please give S.D. Perry a mascot horror. Please give S.D. Perry Garten of Batman novelizations. It would be so fucking funny.
The last thing she did was Uncharted. I don't know if she's still writing.
Yeah,
her Goodreads was not updated since that one, I think.
Yeah, looking like 2018, like a DC Comics, some DC Comics work. Yeah, some DC Comics work. Uncharted in 2021, the Uncharted novelization of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. Maybe she stopped doing it. Come back, please.
S.D. Perry, you have to come back, please.
You have to come back.
You know what's crazy? Looking at S.D. Perry, she was active the year of my birth, and I'm figuring out maybe this is just a heated rivalry across the stars. Much like our beautiful stars in Resident Evil The Umbrella Conspiracy, where we will see you again in Perusing Stinky Tombs. Our noses are ready to get a whiff of the stank, and we're excited.
Yeah, we're like little truffle pigs.
We're like little pigs in the forest hunting out little treats for us to scavenge. But check out Resident Evil The Umbrella Conspiracy and meet us back here for part 2 when you're ready.
I found her Twitter. She hasn't updated in a really long time.
No. SD Perry, come back. We need
Actually,
you.
maybe she's based because one of the last tweets is the only good Nazi is a dead Nazi. SD Perry, damn. Ooh.
Better than the writer of Gooby.
Better than... Jesus, what the hell? You're actually still here? You listened to all of that? I mean, shit, I guess I should thank you for that. This podcast would not be possible without the help from our patrons as well, such as Alan Diver, Artavagian, Avery Pascal, Boopoo Brain Soup, Brass, Cassandra Crash, Chipples, Chris Chapman, Dirt Eater 2713, Dubiology, DX Studios, Edward McMillan, Eric Scott Gillies, Ethereal, Geef, Guidrion, Heretic Shark, I Love Waifus, I Am Scarf, Jack of All Chords, Lambda Man, Lucavia, Moraine, Mr. Starchy, Mr. Shirt, Presta Husk, Rat Supreme, Sponge Guy, The Frost Ace, Toucan Farbin, Tyler Hall, Ulbert, Wake, and Woodstock. Thank you so much for coming to visit our library of stink, and we hope you come back for part 2 when it comes out in like a month or so. I don't fucking...